Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Into the 99 podcast, where we've got 99 cards because Commander is number one. I am your necromancer with all the answer, Necrozak, joined by my other lovely hosts of the podcast, Lotus, Ryan, and Dan. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Busy week, but good overall. How's everyone else doing?
I am well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, not doing too bad. Just brewing with new cards.
It's been a week.
Yeah, finally the Modern Horizons 2 is officially out, so if you didn't get any at pre-release, you can finally start picking up singles and stuff. We're talking another deck today from Modern Horizons. I said during the spoilers this was the card I was the most excited for, so today we're going over my Lonis deck. And, I love this stuff. I'm really hoping people keep building these Modern Horizons decks, because they brought a lot of really fun commanders out. I think Zach's going to get some more today.
Yeah, I'm taking apart 3 commander decks to hopefully get a collector booster of Modern Horizons 2, which I'm fairly positive this will be my first ever collector booster box, so this should be a lot of fun.
I hope you just pull straight gas from it.
I do.
I mean, I'm just fine if I pull every single etch foil in common and uncommon rarity, because I love those cards. They're beautiful.
Zach, don't be like me and don't get a foil etched Fire and Ice as one of your rares, and you'll be all right. Yeah, the first pack of the collector's box that I opened, foil etched Fire and Ice.
That's a nice
and then
common.
I split a box with a friend, and his first rare was a foil etched Old Frame Urza.
I would Hulk
awesome.
out.
I was pretty upset. They were laughing at me.
I do want to give like a shout out to my buddy. We built Gress last week, and I got to play it, and he was nice enough. He pulled this foil full art Gress and held it for me. So thanks, Cole. You're a really good friend. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It wasn't the hero that you needed, but the hero you deserved.
You guys know on a personal level, like I've been having a really couple crappy weeks. So yesterday it just meant a lot. So I wanted to be emotional for a minute.
Was it the icing on your cupcake?
Yeah, it really was.
Having good buddies is always a good time. And actually that does lead into what I'm talking about, because in this deck I'm trying to play my buddies' cards. So I'll start off right now. We'll just get right into it. Actually, Zach, do you want to let everyone know about all the other shows and stuff quickly before we get into Lonis?
Yeah, sure. So as always, we want to first and foremost thank you, the listener and or the viewer listener, however you want to label yourself. I'm not here to label you. You can label yourself how you want. We appreciate you. Without you, lovely people, we wouldn't be able to do this or do it at the level we're doing it. So thank you. And to anyone who is a patron or wanting to become a patron, please do so. It means a lot, and it helps us to continue doing these extra things, because there's a lot of time and effort that go into this. So you guys helping us in a money sense just makes it easier to do so. As always, we have plenty of different things for you guys to absorb if the podcast isn't enough. We have Brewing It Live with Lotus and Han. They do amazing work. I don't know how many other shows you can literally sit there and be like, oh, this is a deck we're brewing, and you can be in chat like, oh, this deck needs a Death's Shadow. Like our good buddy Benson will tell you every single time.
Yep.
You can also find us streaming every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. EST. This week, I believe Dan and Ryan will be on with some other fun guests, and Lotus will potentially be on.
I think I'll be on with some spicy.
Straight heat.
Ooh, some spice. Texas Pete.
I say spice. This is my level of spice.
Turn
so
one competitive games. Let's go.
Get Urza back.
Speaking of good buddies, if you guys paid attention to last week's episode, we did my deck tech on Grist. We still do have the proxy Grist and cards up for raffle. So please, if you've not found any of that information, go to our Instagram and follow everything you need to do to get entered for that, because these proxies are awesome, and Jim at Pyrexia is a saint.
Jim is amazing.
Yeah.
If you're not following Jim, you simply must.
Yeah,
he's doing like Colossal Dreadmores.
Yeah, Jim is amazing. Once again, that's Pyrexia on Instagram. Just go and gush at his art, because he's a genius.
He definitely is.
As I like to say, he is a wizard.
So yeah, now let's get into Lonis, because again, thank everyone. Everyone's great. You're all awesome. Lonis, let's go. So Lonis Cryptozoologist was my favorite card spoiled in this set, and that's a pretty high bar because there's great artwork in the set. There's a lot of things for me to say as my favorite, and I'm probably going to say 3 cards throughout this list are also my favorite from the set. Just understand I have lots of favorites. Lonis is Simic, so he's just 1 and a green for a 1/2 Snake Elf Scout. Whenever another non-token ETB is under your control, you investigate, which means put a clue token into play. Clues are pay 2, tap it. Oh no, not tap it, sorry. Pay 2, sack it, draw a card. It's treasures that are tapped. Shouldn't be. Lonis has an ability that is tap, sacrifice X clues. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You can put a non-land permanent with CMC X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom in a random order. I love cards that let me play other people's decks. I love anything chaos themed, and the ability to do a chaos theme in Simic is really fun. In advance, you can make this deck way more control-y and annoying. You can really fill it with counterspell magic and have a great time. It's not what I did. I went full investigation mode. So we're going to start up in our artifacts here. I'll let Zach take the first one away, but Lonis is just so fun. That ability to play other people's decks is great time. And if you have 11 tokens and you can hit Blightsteel Colossus, it's hilarious.
Hey, I haven't seen this list at all yet. So if there's a card in here if there isn't a card in here that should be in here that I'm thinking of, I'm going to be very mad at you, Dan.
Let's find out.
So the first card in an artifact is a sweet one. It's Blink Moth Urn. It's 5 colorless for an artifact. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, if Blink Moth Urn is untapped, that player adds a colorless for each artifact they control. So I have a feeling like you're going to benefit from this way more than other people.
You get a lot of clue tokens. I really underestimated it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make some clues. No, every game I've had like in excess of 90 clue tokens.
Gee, Merry Christmas.
It's a lot. It's too many clue tokens.
Too many clues.
Yeah.
I want to read this next card too because I really like it. So it's Illusionist Bracers. It's 2 for an equipment artifact. Whenever an ability of an equipped creature is activated, if it isn't a mana ability, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy, and it equips for 3.
Yeah. So an honest, obvious. I can't talk today. It's so early for me. An obvious choice to put onto Lonis because you double up the sacrifice as part of the cost, not the resolution. So you don't have to sacrifice twice. You just get I'll go 10 deep. Lotus's deck, 10 deep. Zach's deck. Let's find out what you guys are playing.
You'll end up with some jank from me.
You should be searching my deck. That's where the heat's going to be.
I already have hit an Omniscience with this, and it felt good. There's nothing in this deck worth using Omniscience for, but I still had it.
That's awful. Who do you play against that are playing Omniscience?
His brothers.
Some animals.
Yeah. Your brothers are great, but God, why they do this?
The next one's just a simple mana rock. It's Magnifying Glass. It's 3 taps for 1 colorless, and you can pay 4 and investigate. Nice
Seems
and
okay.
simple.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Lotus, you want to take the next one here?
So, Mirage Mirror, 3 colorless for an artifact. Pay 2, Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land to end a turn. I love this card so much.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly never find enough of them.
No, it's got its own built-in protection because someone's like, destroy target non-land permanent. Oh, it's a land.
Yep. Well, same thing, non-creature. Fine, I'll make it a creature.
Yeah.
I really, really like Mirage Mirror, and there's, in any deck that's making tokens, I'm going to, spoiler alert, you want a doubling season in anything that you can, so making 2 doubling seasons is really fun at 2 mana.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It is rough, and it's great. I have to read the next card. There's no other way around it. It just is my heart and soul. It's Panharmonicon. It's a card I buy every one of that I ever see. It's 4 mana. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. So 2 clue tokens every time any creature ETBs with Lonis is great.
I'm reading the next one. So this is probably the best card in the Commander format. It's Soul Ring for 1 mana. It's an artifact. You can tap it for 2 colorless. You guys might not have heard of this card before, but it probably goes in every single Commander deck.
Yeah, hey guys, check out Soul Ring. Look that one up.
I know some secret tech.
Guys, I found this crazy accelerant. It's nuts. It's only like $5. You're going to want to pick one of these up at least.
I don't understand how this card hasn't been banned in our format.
I mean, it's been considered.
I'll let you read the next one here, Ryan.
Sword of Hearth and Home, 3 colorless for artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has pro green and pro white. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target creature you own. Then search your library for a basic land card. Put both cards onto the battlefield under your control, then shuffle, and its equip cost is 2.
Now, I have to say why I love this card so much. It's not you control.
Mm-hmm.
Exit a creature you own. If somebody has control magic your thing, you still own it.
Oh, yeah.
Get your stuff.
Yeah.
That's when you, Dan, why aren't you running Gilded Drake?
Gilded Drake is fun. Yeah, it's
Did you hear the police coming for you over this card?
Yeah. The fact that it is you own and not you control is a very, very big difference.
Yeah.
It's so there is a negative effect in this deck because I can't flicker other people's creatures and I'm trying to play other people's decks with Lonis. So I cannot flicker other things. I can flicker my own things though. So this is really good in like any deck like an Emiel, but again, I have an ETB built into my commander. Of course I want to flicker things.
Yeah, for sure.
Ban Prime Titan. Come on.
Do you think?
I will make a commander deck with Prime Titan as the commander to unban it.
Do you think Chris, how do you say his last name? I can't read it up because of the card. But do you think he's tired of drawing people holding swords?
No. I don't know. I've got mine up as the other artwork, the good one.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I updated it just now, right before, because it scanned the wrong way.
The strawberries?
Yeah, the next one as well is a card that is probably going to be the most valuable card in the deck. It's Tamio's Journal. It's 5 just colorless for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate, already doing what we want. But it has tap and sack 3 clues, search your library for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's a really, really good card in this deck. Like, the tutoring is always good, but this at 3... it's so good. I just love it. 3 of your clues is nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a card.
Yeah. It's a really, really good tutor in general, especially if you're running anything that has artifacts. But like we're a clue-based deck, it's criminal to not put this in a clue-based deck. If you're playing Lonis, you have to play Tamio's Journal. I don't want to tell people what they do and do not have to play ever, but like you have to play this one. How do you not?
What I really like about the clues specifically from that set is all the clues are different with different like text, like not text but flavor text.
Yeah.
So they all have different parts of like her journal.
Yeah, I really like it.
It was very flavorful.
I do also want to say that the clue utility is really good in the sacrifice. So both Tamio's Journal and Lonis care about sacking clues, but just the ability to pay 2 mana and draw a card is really good. You're in Simic, like, this is an elf commander. Spoiler alert to some elves in the deck. You have a lot of mana to just, like, at the end step, mana sink and draw. Generally, if you have something that has a lot of mana, like elves, like any accelerant kind of deck, you need something to do with that mana, or you can just be flooded out of the game. If you don't have something and you have 50 mana available, and you only have 1/1 elves, what are you going to do, swing? No one swings with a Birds of Paradise. Sometimes, but
I've died to one.
People rarely swing with the Birds of Paradise. Let me clarify. But
how dare you bring such a opinion to a group of commander players?
He's playing with a different league of players.
Usually in general though, people are like they're gonna mana dump into like an Azuri Renegade leader or something, right? Mm-hmm. So just that. The more draw you have in your deck, the more likely you are to hit things, right? Draw really does make a deck more consistent. And this is just built-in draw. At its very worst, I have a pay-to-draw card on the field pretty much at all times. It's really, really good. Stony Silence absolutely ruined this deck. Never play with me again. But
Hold on. Let me get my notebook out.
Oh, who cares about Stony Silence? Let's, what's it called?
Stony Silence.
2 green and black sorcery from Strixhaven that's like you destroy
culling
each...
ritual.
Yeah, I want a culling ritual so bad with you playing this deck.
Me opposite of the table just vomiting.
I would love that.
I didn't get any of that Rise and Shine card.
The blue one.
Yeah, the Overload one. That card should also be in this deck. Spoiler alert. I'm
tripped your FLGS today.
To be honest, kind of, yeah.
Hold on. I got a my buddies, because like I said, I'm super broke all the time now. My buddies actually gave me a bunch of their bulk, and this was in it. It was Rise and Shine. So the sketch variant, it has a mood. The mood says you can't keep us locked away anymore to battle. And of course, it has the journal with a freaking pocket knife.
I love that. The honestly, Rise and Shine's a great card. I really need to get one of them. My sorceries are a pretty simple list. I'm going to quickly go through them. They're also investigation and token related. So Crack opens the first one. Sorcery for 3 and a green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Create a treasure token. I just like it. I like making tokens.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I run my normal ramp kind of stuff with Cultivate Explosive Vegetation, and then a new one from Modern Horizons 2, which is Terramorph, and I really, really like this card. It's essentially just a better explosive vegetation. There's no way around that. So it's 3 and a green. It searches your library for basic lands, puts it onto the battlefield untapped, then shuffle, which is really, really nice, and then it rebounds. So it just, if you have something else on the turn you're explosive vegetationing, like a Land of War Elves or a Birds or something, you can still get it out, and then you will still also, in your upkeep, get another one. So I really, really like it. There's no real punishment for it. It's just a better card. Same effect, but better.
The same thing, like, explosive vegetation could be Migration Path. It's the exact same thing, but with cycling.
Yeah.
People forget about that card.
I have so many explosive vegetations. I understand they've upgraded the card, but I have a formula. I stick to it.
I'm not giving you crap. It's just,
to be honest, I can never actually find Migration Paths. That was Ikoria, right?
Yeah.
Ikoria,
well, you already know me.
Ikoria was widely opened, and like it didn't come back into stores like at all. People loved those cards.
I also want to talk about how amazing this artwork for Terramorph is. It's so unique for a ramp card. Just like, it's weird, right? It's very really weird. It looks fish-eyed to me. Like when I first opened this card, I was like, holy crap, this is, because this was in one of my pre-release kit. It's like, this is just weird. I thought it was misprint at first.
This deck, by the way, is probably my closest attempt at quote-unquote jank, because there's a lot of inefficient cards in it, solely because they have the word investigate. So, like, Gone Missing is a good example.
This card's awful.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's 4 and a blue, put target permanent on top of its owner's library, and investigate. You can definitely upgrade that. It's blasphemy, but, like, it's Cyclonic Rift, like, is an obvious slot in to replace this.
That's what should be in every blue deck.
Hate it.
I think this is fine, because you can reset your own stuff.
Yeah.
And you get to investigate. Like,
or you put some crazy haymaker on top of their library, and you use Lonis' ability to get it.
Boom.
Yeah, see, I also had thought that out. Definitely. It wasn't.
Gone Missing isn't bad.
Definitely wasn't just because had nothing to do with the fact that it had the word investigate on it. It was all 3D chess from Daniel over here. Thank you guys for revealing my master plan.
Speaking of revealing master plan, Hard Evidence is sweet. It's a new one from MH2. It's 1 blue for sorcery. You create a 0/3 blue crab creature token, which is the best part of this card, and it investigates.
Yeah, it is a solid just addition.
You know what, Dan? I'd like to press you for some answers in this deck.
Go away. Quit sandbagging me.
Go on.
Colorless and a blue sorcery. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Investigate.
I quit. I'm so mad at you right now.
Zach, do you want to root out the problems of the podcast?
All right. I'm hanging up. I'm done.
Root out to an agreed. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Investigate. I'm loving it.
Right. There are no puns. There are no puns for this. I'm picking something. Bounty of Luxa. 2 green and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all flood counters from Bounty of Luxa. No counters were on Bounty of Luxa. Draw a card. Otherwise, add 1 green and a blue. This is a weird card.
It's a wordy card. So basically, either every turn you draw a card from it, or you get 3 mana.
Yeah, we jumped to enchantments because I was tired of my co-hosts, or hosts, my other host friends.
We'll go back to them after. Doubling Season is obviously in the deck if you have the finances for a Doubling Season, or you happen to know a great proxy guy like Jim, wink wink. Get a doubling season because any token-based deck is going to love it. Simply, if anyone for some reason doesn't know doubling season, if an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many. And if an effect would put one or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many on instead. Just doubles for you.
So, can I read this next card because it's sweet?
Yes.
Well, are you having fleeting memories of people bullying you?
All right. So I've been Necrozak. You guys have a good evening. I am out.
Oh.
Hate all of you.
For Channel 5, this has been Zach.
I'm over it.
Well, go ahead and read it, Lotus.
So it's 2 and a blue enchantment. When fleeting memories enters the battlefield, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, target player mills 3 cards. That's it.
Yeah, it is a possible alternate win condition because, again, you have so many, and Lonis can sack as many tokens as you want, so I'll sack 90 and you guys mill 120 or whatever 90 times 3 is. 180.
Speaking of alternate win conditions,
270. I'm bad at math.
Mechanized production.
Yeah.
2 blue for an enchantment. It's an aura. So you enchant an artifact you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of an enchanted artifact. And if you control 8 or more artifacts of the same name as one another, you win the game.
Yeah, generally speaking, you have one turn to deal with this in a deck like this. It has so many tokens. I don't really like to win this way, but games do have to end. So...
Wait, does this win at the beginning of the upkeep, or isn't it just constantly checking if you control 8 or more?
At the beginning of your upkeep, it checks.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got one turn after someone casts it, and you just have to hope they don't flash it.
I like this card because you don't necessarily have to put it on clues in this deck. Literally, you could put it on Soul Rings, or you can put it on. There's a creature card I saw that this would go great on.
The fact that it just keeps making tokens is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It is a token generator. You don't have to degenerate try and win with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're definitely right. People are going to see this and be like, "Oh, well, they need to die or get removed." But there are some other really, really good targets in this deck for this card that I will definitely mention later.
A lot of building this deck was really fun because I got to go back through and see a bunch of cards that I've personally never seen played in Commander. Mm-hmm. One of those is Ongoing Investigation. It's an enchantment for 1 and a blue. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, investigate. So I can still only get it once a turn. Unless, if I hit 2 players, I get to do it twice, right, Lotus?
To a player, yeah.
Okay. But if I hit Zach twice, then it doesn't do it twice, just once.
You just get 1.
And then you have the ability to pay 2, exile a creature, so 1 and a green, exile a creature from your graveyard, investigate, and gain 2 life. So I generally am pretty happy with the card. Overall, it's really fun to play, and it's cool artwork. You just never see it. Parallel Lives is another one that, again, if you have the budget, this card is just skyrocketed because of Adrix and Nev, that whole deck.
And Chatterfang.
And, yeah, it's also Chatterfang. There's so many good token commanders right now. 3 and a green, if an effect will put 1 or more tokens on the battlefield under your control, it puts twice that many instead. Love the word twice.
Yeah, it gets to be pretty degenerate very quickly.
Yeah. Lotus, you want to take this next one?
Yeah, Rites of Flourishing, 2 and a green enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Each player may play additional lands on each of their turns.
I love Rites of Flourishing. I put it in as many decks as I can. Sometimes you need a little group hug.
Yeah.
I really like this next card. I play it in my Kayam deck, and I just feel like it's really undervalued.
That's where I got mine too.
Yep, it would involve mysteries. It's 2 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you investigate. And whenever you sacrifice the glue, put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token onto the battlefield.
Huge token generation potential.
Yeah.
Again, there is no limit of how many you can sack with Lana. So you can, if you want to swing wide at the end step, you just sack again 90 tokens and have 90 1/1s out.
Ew.
Flash and Massacre Worm.
Ugh. Someone Rakdos charms me. I'm stuck in a repeating loop of my own hell.
This is how you beat Dan. You just Rakdos charm him in every single deck.
True. Yep. Or Massacre Worm, that usually would do it. Weirding Wood is another one that I, again, haven't seen. It's 2 and a green, enchant land. When it enters, investigate. Enchanted land has add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
I mean, it's kind of in theme with all the 2 colors and the green land enchants that do something and double your mana.
Yeah, and it just has Investigate. Back up to the instance. Blue Sun Zenith is one of my favorite cards to run in general, and with Blink Moth Urn's ability, you can pretty easily kill anyone in the table with this. You're in a deck that generates just huge amounts of mana, as I was saying earlier. So Blue Sun Zenith is always going to be good. It's good for you, but it's also good to be like, Zach, die.
I would like to do the next one.
Yeah.
Court of Calling. X and triple green instant has Convoke, and then search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. This card should go in every single green deck ever.
Court of Calling has actually come down a ton in price lately, too. It's been really nice.
Well, it was nice with the Double Masters printing, and then I think, didn't Double Masters have a box topper?
The box topper is amazing. That's what mine actually
beautiful.
Yeah. Though it is creeping up slightly because of that Squirrel Twin deck.
Yeah. Squirrel Twin, I like it. This is my only counterspell in the deck as far as I know. It's Confirm Suspicions. It's 3 double blue. Instant counter target spell and investigate 3 times. And if anyone wants to guess why it's in the deck, I'm sure you can.
To counter stuff?
No, to investigate.
Its art's real sick too.
What the heck is going on here?
The next one, I'll let Lotus take this next one, but it's been very fun to kill people with.
Confront the Unknown. Single green, instant. Investigate, then target creature gets +1/+1 to end a turn for each clue you control. Ooh.
That's hilarious. You can actually commander damage somebody.
Yeah.
I'll swing with Lonis.
You can
just take one.
This is how you kill someone with Birds of Paradise.
I did it with a vigor. Next card is Growth Spiral. 1 in a blue. You can play an additional land this turn, and you can draw a card, and it's an instant.
Yeah.
And this is the most beautiful of all the Growth Spiral
It
artworks.
is really nice.
Yes, yeah. I love it.
Ryan, next one.
Jace's Scrutiny. Colorless in a blue, instant. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in there for investigating. Everyone yep. Gets it. Everyone understands I'm sure you guys all see my train of thought.
Your insanity.
I keyword searched investigate, and this is how we've built the deck. By the way,
this feels like exactly like one of my decks, just full of jank.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
This is my jank version of a deck.
It's very flavorful. The thing that bothers me the most about this deck is that I expect every creature card art to be altered to have a magnifying glass, and if they don't, then you can't play this deck.
Jim.
That or a Watson.
Jimothy.
Sherlock Holmes.
The next one is Crossing Grip, and also my favorite art of a Crossing Grip. I really like this card, and if anyone has more of them, please let me know, and I'll just buy them from you. I really want more of this Crossing Grip.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, split second, destroy target artifact or enchantment, 3 mana, everyone gets it. I really like the next card because it's also in the flavor of the deck, because that's the hats they all wear for their investigations. It's Second Harvest. It's 2 double green, instant. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
I want to read this first creature.
Oh, I love this card.
Where are we on my creatures? All right, yeah, please. Oh, yeah, this card is amazing. Another one of my favorite cards of the set.
This is what I was talking about. I would want to put mechanized production on this. It's Academy Manufacture. It's 3 for a 1/3. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create 1 of each.
I cannot explain how broken that card is in any deck that's making any of them. I had so many tokens on the field. So many.
Did you actually have the tokens, Dan, or did you just use
Nope,
D20s?
I have D20s on. I did eventually have to find a food, a treasure, and a food, treasure, and clue token just to put my D20s on. But the game that I got this one out was just out of control. Academy Manufacturer is so good in any deck that makes any of these. In the Gorm the Master Chef, in something like Galazeth, in anything your Dockside Store. They're really good cards. The draw, the treasure tokens, you don't need to explain to anyone why they're good.
Mm-hmm.
They're, it's such a good card. This is probably, again, one of my top 5 cards from the set. I love it.
Well, and what's nice... Oh, go ahead, Lotus.
The most broken thing about this is if you've got 2 of them. So the first one sees you create, I don't know, a treasure. So it'll go clue, food, treasure. The second one will go, oh, you're making a clue, food, and treasure. Let's make 3 of each 3 times. It doesn't double it. It sees each one individually and has 3 for each one.
And then what happens when you have doubling season and parallel lives in play?
My brain stops working.
That's what I was going to get at, Lotus. Thank you. That's why I said, like, mechanized production on this is just absolutely insane, because you just start making so much. It gets to a point where it's like, I went to public school, and I don't know where the math starts and stops. So I'm just going to just take an 8 and turn it to its side. If anyone has a problem, they can do the math.
Does that become infinite? Like, if I put in 1 treasure, one puts in 3, then the other puts in 9?
No.
Okay.
So each of them is a replacement effect. Whenever anything happens, you can only apply 1 replacement effect once. So because the second replacement effect is happening after the first one won't re-trigger.
Okay. All right. So at least my brain can continue functioning a little bit.
Yeah, we need you to make a Venn diagram with how many of each when the triggers go off.
So I think,
Daniel, how many did this make? Hella.
I think it goes 1 into 3, 3 into 9, 9 into 81, and then so you get 81 just by having 3 Academy factors on the board.
All right, so I need a progenitor mimic. Archaeomancer, because I really, really like the ability to get my instants and sorceries back. I will get my silly jank card, the Gone Missing, back. I'll just keep Gone Missing people's decks.
That's good.
It's not bad. Beast Whisperer as well, another card that is just a good green card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. I do think I might have to put a Lab Maniac in this deck. I do draw a lot, and I've been pretty close. To hurting myself.
I want to read this next card because this was the card that I was most excited about, and I was worried you didn't have. Oh God, I can't say its name right.
Briarbridge Patrol.
Briarbridge Patrol. Thank you. It's 3 and a green for a human warrior. It's a 3/3. Whenever Briarbridge Patrol deals damage to 1 or more creatures, investigate. At the beginning of each end step, if you sacrifice 3 or more clues this turn, you may put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield.
This card,
This card can go ham.
Yes, this card is nuts. I was super excited. I figured you had it after you said you Scryfall, but
I did not Scryfall. You take that heresy back.
After you Scryfalled for sure.
I was Gatherer.
But this card is just... It's one of my favorite things about new sets, whenever they do stuff like this, right? Where it's like cards that were, we see it a lot, like, especially with Modern, where there's this old card that, is really good, but it just doesn't have any value. Then out of nowhere, there's this uncommon or rare that just makes it amazing. And that's what this card does for this deck. It just does so much work, and I love to see it.
I really, really like the card. The Investigate cards were really, really fun. I put in Burnished Heart simply because ETB and the ability to go fetch lands just seem nice. I could replace this with a Sakura Tribe Elder, probably, but I was just building from the pile.
That's the best way to build.
What's this one? Byway Courier, 2 green, 3/2. When it dies, investigate. It's simple.
This next one seems like a Zach card.
Clever Impersonator, 2 blue. For a 0/0 shapeshifter, you may have Clever Impersonator ETB as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield.
So
yes, it is a Zach card.
A Panharmonicon?
Yeah, or Doubling Season. They basically do the same thing, to be honest.
Academy manufacturer.
Yeah.
Someone else's Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah.
It's not just your stuff. It's any non-land permanent.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
Zach,
pretty
also
solid.
The next one.
The card that started it all for me, Clone, 3 and a blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. You may have Clone ETB as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Love it. Love clones so much.
The next one is Daring Sleuth. I've never seen this card before. There's a colorless and a blue for a human rogue. 2/1. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, transform him. And its backside is Bearer of Overwhelming Truths. It's a 3/2. Has prowess, and whenever Bearer of Overwhelming Truth deals combat damage to a player, investigate. That's a super cool card in this game.
Yeah.
Swinging
Prowess
with
is sweet.
Bearer of Overwhelming Truths and then using that 1 mana for each clue token thing. Die.
I kill you.
Face the truth.
Does he have any flavor text? Let's see if he has any flavor text. No matter the cause, I must discover the source of these strange happenings. Is there any more flavor text on the other side?
That's
No,
it. Sadly.
that's still sweet. That's still sweet.
The card needs flavor text needs to be Doug Marcaida from Forged into Fire. It will kill.
District Guide's the next one. I really like this card just in general to go get any like your basics or your gates. It's a good color fixing card. It's going to investigate when we come into play. It's an elf. What more do you want, right? 2 and a green for a 2/2. No problem with it.
Speaking of elves, I knew this was an elf deck. Elvish Archdruid, 1 green for a 2/2. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can tap it to add a green mana for each elf you control. This is an elf deck. It's not a clue deck. You lie.
Yeah. We have Elvish Mystic. Yep. 1
look.
1 and a green for a 1/1 that taps for 1 mana. We have Elvish Visionary. 1 and a green for ETB draw a card, which is also all of these basically staple ETB investigate onto them. I really like the next one. I'll let someone else take it, but I love the card.
Another elf, Erdwall Illuminator, 1 and a blue for a spirit. It's a 1/3 flyer. Whenever you investigate for the first time each turn, investigate an additional time.
Gets out of hand.
I love it.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Double down. It's basically
like
another little
shrimp.
It is a floating shrimp. Yeah.
It's actually a floating elf.
I should get all of these cards altered to be new elves.
This next card is one of my favorite cards in all of Magic. Eternal Witness. It's a colorless green 2/1. When it ETBs, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Notably not an elf.
It should have been an elf.
It really should be an elf, to be honest.
Like, it even looks like an elf.
Yeah.
I like this card a lot. This next one, anyways, it's Floodhound. It's 1 blue for an elemental dog, 1/2. You can pay 3, tap, and investigate.
I love
the flavor text.
Yeah. This creature.
This is her Bloodhound, but made of water.
I'm just glad that you have the sketch variant and not the normal variant.
Yeah, I like the sketch variants a lot.
Me too.
I was wrong. I do have other counter stuff in the deck, and it's Glenelendra Archmage. Simply because I care about ETBs, and you can counter a spell and re-ETB. So it's 3 and a blue, flying, sack Glenelendra, counter target non-creature spell with persist. So I will be able to double up on the ability to investigate. I can counter something problematic, like a Cyclonic Rift. Everyone gets it. Everyone understands. Llanowar Elves, again. Everyone gets it. Zach, next one.
Miraculous Pretender. It's 4 and a blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. You may have it ETB as a copy of any creature you control, except it gains 2 blue. Return this creature to its owner's hand. So you can actually double, triple, quadruple ETBs if you really got the mana to do so.
Yeah, having it ETB and like copying anything you want. So even as an Eternal Witness that you can just keep bouncing back and forth. I like it.
This next card is another elf. Morite of the Frost, 2 colors, green, blue. It's a 0/0 changeling. You may have it ETB as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow, in addition to its types. And if it's a creature, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters and has changeling.
Yeah, I really like this card. I like being able to copy my permanents.
I feel like you were trying to get me to like this deck.
Put a little Zach sub-theme in it, am I right?
Yeah. It's, if only you had some necromancy, we'd be good. Next card is also absolutely sick. It's Murkfiend Liege. It's 2 hybrid blue-green. It's a horror 4/4. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other blue creatures you control get +1/+1. And untap all green and or blue creatures you control during each other player's untap step. In my opinion, I like this card better than Seedborn Muse. It's more situational, obviously, because it really cares about just your creature, so you don't get every untap. But it's still, for the cost that it is and what it does, and it being a pretty decent body, I like this a lot more.
I like the artwork on it a lot, to be honest. It's a really cool looking card.
I wish they would bring back more Liege, because the Lieges were really, really cool.
Yeah.
And as Commander players, I think we just, we love that kind of stuff.
A lot of them are pricey. That's why I think they don't see more play.
Yeah, I agree.
But Murkfiend Liege is not. We have Paradise Druid, another elf. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Add 1 mana of any color, and it's 2 mana.
I would like to read the next card as I have a hard-on for anything from Kamigawa block.
What are you, Ashen?
No. Patron of the Irachi. It's 6 colorless, green for a 7/7. It has Snake Offering, which is you may play this card at any time you can play an instant by sacrificing a snake, paying the difference in the mana cost between this and the sacrificed snake's mana cost, and it includes color. And then it has tap, untap all forest and all green creatures, and you can play this ability only once a turn.
Love it.
So you need
sweet.
I know it has nothing to do with the theme, but a Shia, so you can untap everything.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I like the fact that it just untaps itself.
It does untap itself. Have you never played this one, Lotus?
I've never seen this one before.
Oh, this is a nonsense card. I love it.
Yeah.
I should
silly.
put a Shia on the deck. You're right. A Shia would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get
Cycrift me
myself
now.
this.
Priest of Titania, because again, we know what we are as people.
Elf deck.
So adds 1 mana for each elf on the battlefield. Everyone gets it. Yada, yada, yada. We have Progenitor Mimic. I was right. I am going to definitely put it on the Academy Manufacturer. It's just a silly
I'm not
card.
doing the math for that.
Yeah. Me calling Lotus at 3 a.m. Hey, quick question.
You already do that at 3 a.m.
Ugh, time zones are crazy. Progenitor Mimic. 4 and Simic for a 0/0 shapeshifter. It can enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep. If this creature isn't a token, create a token that's a copy of this creature. And with all of your token doubling effects in the deck, this can get out of hand. I want them to unban Prime Titans so bad.
I do and I
Zero
don't.
it.
I do. Rules Committee, listen to me, please. You've got to believe me.
He's a psychopath, and I agree with him.
Save your local game stores by unbanning Prime Titan. I will go and run a train. I'll save everyone's game store. Let's go.
Good luck finding him. Amulet Titan's really good in Modern again.
Amulet Titan's so much fun.
They did a secret layer of it.
Yeah.
They do, yes. I already talked about this card unintentionally, but it's Seaborn Muse. It's 3 green for a 2/4. It's not an elf, thankfully. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. So it is a quote-unquote better Murkfiend Liege, but it doesn't have as much utility in my opinion. Maybe it has more. I don't know. It's a hot take, and I'm not here to make them today.
Lotus, you take this next one.
This Shimmer Dragon.
Yeah.
4 blue, Flying Dragon 5/6. As long as you control 4 or more artifacts, it has hexproof. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, draw a card.
Problematic card. You must kill it if it hits the table in a deck like this.
I never thought this card was as powerful as it was until Benson played Simic Togo.
With his rocks.
And I had a bad time. No, I mean, I had a fun time, but, I had a bad time because he was like, oh, I'm just going to draw 30 cards.
Essentially, in any deck that is going to run it, it enters with hexproof. So you have to have a way to get rid of it. And then the clues as well, you don't have to tap to sacrifice. So you can just continuously, tap them to draw your cards and then still use their effect later. Lonis doesn't care if they're tapped. Shimmer Dragon is a problem card. It's really, really good. Throne of Eldraine also brought a lot of really powerful cards.
Mm-hmm. I think it was one of the first sets in Standard that really saw power creep in our more recent sets. The power level of Throne was kind of stupid.
Ikoria's power level was strong for Commander players.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really like a standard breaking set, I don't believe. I don't play Standard. I could be entirely wrong.
There was nothing truly bad about Ikoria. You had the cat combo.
But with
No, that was Eldraine as well.
But yeah, so
it was fine.
With Throne of Eldraine, yeah.
Yeah, for Standard, not so much. Legacy, though, with Loris. Buddy, that was a problem.
Yeah. Ryan, you want to take the next one?
Sphinx of Magosi is 3 colorless, blue for a 6/6. Has flying, pay 2 and a blue, tap, draw a card, then put a +1/+1 counter on Sphinx of Magosi.
Love that card. No tap.
I'm taking this one. I'm taking it.
Yeah. This also, one of my favorite cards in the set. Gotta say it. Flat out. To be honest, sleeper card. This card is going to go up crazy in value.
Mm-hmm. It should not be an elf. It's Tireless Provisioner. It's 2 and a green for an elf scout. It's a 3/2 with landfall. Whenever a land ETB is under your control, create a food token or a treasure token.
Yeah, Lotus Cobra on heroin for $1.90 right now.
Yeah.
I wish this would have been a human to go along with the next card.
Yeah. Tireless Provisioner is... There's no way it won't go up. Landfall is such a popular mechanic in general, and getting treasure tokens with your landfall is crazy. You get Reshape the Earth and you get 10 lands and 10 treasures. I'll be honest, unless you're playing like Gorm, you're not making food tokens with this. We'll be real.
Yeah, fair.
You know, like this should be 4 treasure tokens. It's just Lotus Cobra that lets you store the mana for 1 more mana. I love it. Love it. The next one Zach was talking about is another card I really, really like, and I'll generally buy this too because I like landfall, everything. Tireless Tracker is 2 and a green for a human scout. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, investigate, and whenever you sack a clue, put a 1/1 counter on Tireless Tracker. I've never really actually cared about the 1/1 counters. I just like making clue tokens. I think that they're a really good draw engine.
Yeah.
The next one as well, it's the first card I've actually liked using Evoke on. I've never liked the Evoke mechanic, but it's Wave Sifter. It's 3 in Simic for a 3/2 flying elemental. When it ETBs, investigate twice, so with Lonis out, we're getting 3 clues with it, and it has an Evoke of just Simic. I really, really like it.
It is such a strange yet awesome artwork. It's like a giant goldfish.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, it's a Kawagama card, right?
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, like, that's what
it's meant
most
to
of
be?
the... I believe so, with, like, the Invoke and the Incarnation, or the Elemental subtype. Like, I believe that it's, like, a hearken to it. And there's already a lot of, like, conspiracy theories that we're going back to Dominaria, or we're actually going back to Kawagama, and...
I'm sure we
the
are.
upcoming year.
I hope we go back to Kamigawa.
With the amount of weird frog
Yeah.
samurai things they keep putting out, I believe
Bushido Jade Frog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next card is a really sweet card. I like playing it a lot. It's Yeva, Nature's Herald. It's 2 blue for a legendary creature, Elf Shaman. 4/4 Flash. You may cast green creature spells as though they had Flash. So you could invoke Wave Sifter at Flash speed, right?
Yep.
I like it.
Love it. The next card I actually also like, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's Zamone Quandrix Prodigy. I really like the ability to dump some lands into play, and I'm drawing so many cards in this deck that I kind of need that sometimes. And then it has 4 draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards. I have a lot of draw in this deck. I was thinking of putting something like the Teferi's Ageless Insight in it or any of those cards. No. You will draw yourself out. Don't do that. I promise you, it's a bad time.
I'm planning to build this commander deck.
Which one?
What, Simone or this one?
No, Simone.
Zamone's cool.
Once again, I really like the art. The art is so unique.
I love Zamone. Someone read this flavor text because I'm not trying to pronounce this stuff.
What are they complaining about? It's not like axiomatic ley line paratrigometrics is hard.
There you go. My eyes could never.
My dyslexia could never.
I just have a public education and I mailed in for my college degree, so...
It's funny I can read that, but as Miranda Marticola from a rap god, I can't read it. I cannot pronounce that card to save my life. Like, my attention span just trails off about halfway through reading it.
Could never. So yeah, I think generally, I don't know if there's any lands that are super notable.
There is one.
Did I miss any of my other segments, or is that all of them?
That's all of them, but there is one land that has to be talked about.
Is it the Dual Effects? I like the Dual Effects.
Is it Field of Ruin? That's in every damn deck.
Field of Ruin is a great card. People should run it.
Inventor's Fair.
Oh, it's not the basics that actually have flavor text.
No, it's Inventor's Fair. It's a legendary land, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. You can tap it for a colorless, whatever. You can pay 4, tap, sack it, and search your library for an artifact card. You reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, and you can only activate this ability if you control 3 or more artifacts, so it has Metalcraft, essentially.
Yeah, it's a really good land in any artifact carrying deck, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Just the life gain is, like, actually reasonable.
This is not a super expensive deck if you don't run Breeding Pool and Tropical Island and Misty Rainforest.
This is not a super expensive deck if you just drop the Trop Island, because Misties, honestly, are fairly cheap now. They're very reasonable for what they are.
What's my deck price? 20. So it's like a $3,000 deck, and then on this list, that is...
2,500
yeah,
of
20,
it's just the island.
Yeah,
2,500 is Tropical Island. So do with that as you will, you know?
It's a $500 deck.
$500 deck.
Which is really good for a Dan deck, honestly.
That's not bad. And then the other thing is, if you get rid of, you don't need doubling season. Heresy, I know. You don't really need it though. If you don't run doubling season and parallel lives, you're down another $150.
Mm-hmm. With how many cards though care about like making you additional clues for making clues, or just how many cards make you clues? I think it is reasonable that you could just get rid of doubling season. You could also put in the twins. I think the twins are much cheaper than doubling season.
Yeah, I didn't even think about running Adrix and Nev, but you're not wrong.
And they have built-in protection with Ward. I forget how they read exactly though.
It's if an effect would put one or more counters, put twice as many instead. It's literally just doubling season on a creature.
I also think I'd like Sakashima with 1,000 faces in here.
Zakashima.
Yep. Just to double up on your...
Sakashima would be good. Helm of the Host would also be really good. The ability to continuously do Lonis' ability. Let's talk a little bit about Lonis' ability. You want to go kind of deep with it. You don't really want to go 2 or 3 deep. That's not going to be what you want. Generally, you want to go at least 6, right? So you need a lot of clue tokens.
Yeah.
And especially if you... Go ahead.
I think the best way to look at Lonis' ability is it's villainous wealth on a creature. That's what we're looking at, right? So how you would play villainous wealth in any deck as your commander without black, that's heresy to me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
If I could run villainous wealth in this deck, trust me, I would. Me with a Sharpie just scratching out.
I've just found something dirty.
Go on.
Okay, so you've got Lonis on the battlefield. You've also got your Academy Manufacturer.
Yep.
So you're making clues, you're making treasures. So you sacrifice your clues, and then you might as well just shove on something, I don't know, like Pemin's Aura, and use the treasure to untap it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can really get into a lot of degenerate untap loops and shenanigans with Lonis. The problem is you need so many clue tokens, and it's really, really fun. I should put a little more of the token doubling kind of effects in. A really good Dockside Extortionist is not Dockside Extortionist. What's the bounce creature? I keep thinking Deadeye Navigator, the other half of Dockside Extortionist. Deadeye Navigator is really, really good in this. I just I had it in my original list, and I was building decks while Connor was building Garth, and he took it. So
if you have one, but they're not cheap, a Baron Master Wizard's also good. You just pay one, sacrifice a creature, or bounce a creature back to your hand.
Oh, is that the sacrifice a permanent or something one?
Well, I'm just looking it up, so I can be exact.
We're also, since we're in MH2 territory now, Quarian Ranger, it's on theme for being an elf.
Oh, didn't even think about that. Yeah, you can keep bouncing it.
So Baron is just sacrifice any permanent, and then you return target creature to its owner's hand.
Yeah, that'd be very, very not fun to play.
No, yeah. You could also put a Kadama in here.
Lonis stacks.
I really like how you have this assembled. You care if we move into pros and cons?
Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
So I would say that, and I mean no disrespect, Dan, but this is probably the more fun deck that you have. You know what I mean? This is one of those I feel like we could set across the table, and I'm not going to try to kill myself with my own damage so we could end the game. You know what I mean? This is a very the investigate theme is pushed very hard, but it's not a bad push. I think it's really cool. It works, and it's very flavorful. So I think one of the pros for this deck is simply that. If you set across from this, your stuff might get stolen, but that doesn't bother me if the deck that's what the deck feels like it's supposed to do. It doesn't feel forced. You know what I mean?
The deck's very fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's unusual for Dan.
Yeah,
and I also think I think this deck, while this deck can do some really, really nutty things, I think the deck's only as strong as your opponent's decks.
You would think, but the big problem is it's really easy to draw to that Shimmer Dragon, and Shimmer Dragon is the big problem in the deck. You can put a Lab Maniac win into this deck really easy.
When you have mechanized production, which also can win out of nowhere. Well, people can't, and nobody. I don't want to say nobody, but most people don't run enough enchantment removal.
Yeah, needing enchantment removal in one turn is a pretty shallow clock. So the deck is, like I said earlier, the more you can draw, the more consistent you're going to be in any game and stuff, right? The it doesn't matter how good your land base is, how good anything is. If you can draw 5 or 6 cards a turn, you fix that problem very quickly. This deck should have a Reliquary Tower in it. I don't know why I haven't put one in it yet, but you kind of need one.
I think
you can replace that tropical island for one, Dan.
I think it's reasonable. That's a good idea, Lotus. I like that. I think one of the downsides for this deck is you lose very hard to any type of like mass board removal. Anything that kills enchant or anything that's going to kill your artifacts or enchantments.
A Vandal Blast? I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you. I tip my cap. I will sit the rest of the game out.
Like, this is one of those decks too where, like I said, like Calling Ritual, so you're going to let someone else win the game off of you, essentially.
Yep.
I also think that if you play against Connor's Chaos deck and he plays Thieves Auction, it makes everybody shuffle all their shit back in.
It's actually really fun you say that. It's really, really fun you say that. I was winning the game extremely hard against my brothers. And then one of them played Thieves Auction, and I was so mad that I picked up. I haven't picked up in years, probably well over a decade. I haven't picked up. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. And they're like, oh, but it's Thieves Auction. I was like, if you try and resolve it, I'm going to do it. So then I sat there, I had my Shimmer Dragon out. I drew, I think, like 21 cards, finally got to Confirm Suspicion. I was like, fine, I'll Confirm Suspicion, delete it. Then Connor Dualcaster Maged, Dualcast it. And I was just like, hey, I am done. You guys finish your game, please. And I picked up mid-resolution of that spell because I was not having it. Because I did have the Academy Manufacturer out. I was in a great space. And they're like, well, in fairness, I did have Seedborn as well. I was really going off. But I made me furious. You Thieves Auction, you're animals. All of you are animals.
I love that card.
I hate it. I hate Chaos decks so much.
I like Chaos decks. Connor made a Valky deck. It's very strong.
No,
I'm not allowed to play Chaos decks anymore because I made a game go on for 5 hours.
I hate Chaos decks. If you was it Possibility Storm, there's a good chance I'm going to resort in physical violence.
Connor,
I'm not a big guy, but I will. Oh.
Connor resolves a knowledge pool all the time.
He does, and it sucks because I like your brother, so I don't want to be mean, But like when he did that, I was like,
be mean. Oh yeah, I forgot that he did that to you guys as well. The Possibility Storm and Connor, you're a monster.
I didn't understand how anything was happening. I'm not that smart. Like I had to ask for permission if I was doing crap right.
That game was a headache. And then Zach and I were trying to kill each other, and Dan kept keeping us alive with Kenrith.
Yeah, I was playing Kenrith, so I just kept resurrecting them, basically.
Don't you feel bad? Shouldn't you have let me kill Connor on turn 4 like a normal person?
I should have, yeah. Zach was going really hard with Grevin as the so for the personal game, the Grevin deck was really going off, and I saved Connor by killing Grevin or something. I can't even remember what I did. But then Connor just became a problem, and no one could really deal with it, and they just kept trying to kill themselves to deal with it. By Zach's like, "Oh, I'll pay 50 life," and I was like, "I will give you 10."
Oh no!
It was annoying.
In my defense, I was down to 30 life on turn 4 because I was playing Grevin, and that's how Grevin wins. Like you lose life to beef him up.
We really should do a Grevin deck. That deck actually was really, really fun.
There's some new stuff for it too that's came out that would I need to update.
Yeah, my biggest strength of this deck is it is really, really fun. I like playing other people's decks. It's a really good time. It's really interactive. You are going to get targeted by everyone at the table when they see that you have 30 clues on like turn 4. It's just undeniable. You're playing elves, as everyone saw, so it's like a pretty easy path of turn 1 Llanowar, turn 2 Lonis, turn 3 Priest of Titania. Like, you get a lot. It goes off, you cast your doubling season, you're out of control.
I just like decks like this, where you go, clue tokens have no real support until we find this, and then you just build a deck from nothing.
It is really fun to play a bunch of these cards that you just never see, like that Erdwall Illuminator, right? Like, the Flying Shrimp Monster's dope.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that kind of stuff.
A new setup.
I 100% am converting Ajax and Nev into Lonis, but I might edge more of the Horrible Human and go the stacks route.
Well, you could also as well, really. I didn't even think about it. I should talk to my group more when I'm building decks. I have an extra Adrix and Nev. I really should have just put this in. Really saved on that doubling season. Find out how you too can cut down on costs.
Well, I think it's better to I think it would be reasonable to either cut the doubling season or cut the parallel lives. Probably parallel lives because you can Court of Calling right into Adrix and Nev.
My parallel lives is like a foil one too. It sucks.
Or just play all three.
Yeah, you can play all three.
Yeah. Or just cut the tropical island.
The other thing as well is that Essex is really, really good in this deck. If you were to do that, you get so many clue tokens, and being able to double up on any... You could go more of an ETB route pretty easily. Like, I went dual tribal of clue and elf, but you could just go like ETB theme hard and just be annoying. Like, it's the Death Touch snake that destroys lands. Anyone know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Acidic Slime?
Yeah, that's the one. Like,
it's not a snake.
How did you get that from Snake?
I don't play Acidic Slime very much.
I don't know. I just knew. Okay.
That's Snake. Oh, Birds of Paradise. Yeah.
Zach understands what's going on. Me and Zach mind meld over here. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no clue why I knew that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's that white snake that makes your creatures enter tap. Do you mean Thalia? Yes.
What's a Thalia?
I really don't know why I knew that.
It's the flying.
I'm a little bit worried.
It's the flying snake that makes all your permanents indestructible. Avacyn?
You brought up a good point. I'm not sure why I knew that's what he was talking about because he just said blows up a land.
Let me take a look. Am I crazy? Does it even look remotely like a snake?
It's coiled, kind of. It's got a curly body.
Acidic slime.
Things and stuff.
Doesn't look anything like a snake. I'm going to be honest with you. Whew. It's an ooze.
Slime.
I didn't even know it was an ooze. I love ooze cards.
It's called Acidic Slime. What else are slimes but oozes?
Yeah, it's you guys got me there. Fool me once, right?
There's not even a snake in the artwork.
Not even close. I thought for some reason that it was a snake. Never really looked at that card very closely. The point is, regardless of if you can't tell what creatures snakes are, you can still go like a hard ETB way. Frost Titan kind of stuff, yeah. That the Frost
Primeval
Snake.
Titan. Just ask your friends; they'll let you play it.
Yeah, that
no, they won't.
Snake.
Or
they won't.
Sylvan Primordial.
No, they won't.
Lonis is a snake. Maybe that's where I was confused.
If I can't play Grizzlebrand,
you can play Grizzlebrand. If I can play Prime Titan, let's go.
Yeah, I'll take that fight.
I'll play Emrakul.
I'll let you play Emrakul.
That's fine. The game will be over with much faster for me. Maelstrom Wanderer into Prime Titan.
Primeval Titan isn't that broken. I'm going to be honest with you. Green already can get that much land. I'm just going to say it. Tempt with Discovery is less mana. It gets you the card you want.
Primeval Titan's bad.
I don't think it's that bad. Why?
I think it needs to be tested.
Because you can do insane stuff like turn 3 Primeval Titan and then blanket and copy it all in the same turn and attack with like 3 Primeval Titans or 2 Primeval Titans, and you've gotten like 10 more land on turn 3.
I can turn 3 reshape the Earth in Selvala and get 10 lands. What's your point?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
I mean, it kind of seems like it's a little stronger on my side there.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Primeval Titan, like I used to play it, and I'm sure you did, and it was... when you resolve Primeval Titan, you generally won the game. Or you were so far ahead of the table, you didn't even need Valakut. But think of it, Dan. Think of it now with Thespian Stage and
Dark Depths. Yeah, I can go to do that already.
Or
Field of the Dead. I can already do that. Already do that.
But it just makes it worse and more consistent.
I mean, Green can already get the what's it called? The Hour of Promise does what Primeval Titan does for less mana.
Once.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. There's run more removal. Swords to Plowshare me. Swords to Titan. You can't reanimate from exile.
You're fair. That's fair, but you can still...
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Difficultly.
Rift Sweeper.
True.
Don't at me. It's an elf.
Yeah, pull from it.
We need more exile.
I don't know. It can't be your commander. I don't think Primeval Titan's that bad, especially with how many things just absolutely shut off ETBs and stuff, like Hush Whisperer or the whenever a permanent enters, you have to pay 2. Yeah, Torpor Orb. Any of the make a Gaddock Teague deck. You'll see that it's not that bad.
I've Gaddock Teague.
The problem is I want Primeval unbanned because I love Primeval Titan and I'm a degenerate.
Look, what I hear you guys saying is
But I
black needs
don't
a
think
way
it
to
should
interact
be.
with the exile.
Until
Yes.
they make
Could you
all
imagine
5-color colossal Dreadmores, they shouldn't unban it.
That could.
We've
They're
got
already
three.
at 2. Is there? Are they at
Done.
3?
There's a third one, but it's a crocodile, not a dinosaur.
Whatever, just make a red one, give it haste. Make a blue one that when it
They've got a blue
they already have a- make a white one that when it enters the battlefield, you go get a basic land into play tapped only if your opponents control 3 times the amount of land that you do, and other stupid terrible conditions.
I'm just saying, my train of thought is the following: make one of the Urborgs for mountains, unban Primeval Titan, and let's just see what happens.
I want a blue Urborg.
Let's just see what happens with it, guys.
I want the Telerian coast that makes all my lands islands.
That would be
All
a
right, so
problem, too.
I definitely think we've
we
went far off the rails. But Dan, I think that was a great deck. It was very cool to see you build something that was a little bit more budget and a little less cancerous. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that isn't just like let's steamroll the table.
Yeah, I think this deck is sweet, and I would very much like to play against it sometime in the near future.
What power
Agreed.
level do you like to build? Well, have you ever hit a baby with a baseball bat? What?
Daniel,
That's my power
That's
level.
why-
wiffle ball bat.
Wiffle ball bat. No, yeah,
That's my salamander, Zach. Remember?
that is, yeah.
Don't you remember those bats that you can get for kids? Well, you don't have kids. Zach, do you know those bats that you can get for kids that are like the small little handle and then like the barrel of the bat is gigantic and they're made out of plastic?
Yeah, those things hurt.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, anyways,
So-
thank you guys so much. As Zach said, we were a little off the rails on this one. Yeah, Lonis is a very fun deck. Primeval Titan should be unbanned. I think we've covered it all.
Black needs ways to interact with exile.
We need more Colossal Dreadmores.
Yeah,
Ryan,
everyone's...
what's your hot take?
I'm building it. Just
Okay.
probably will be worse than Dan's version.
So
I really, really like it.
So as always, if you guys like the content that we're putting out, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. If you want to talk to us or hear more of our nonsense, we have plenty of backlog episodes you can listen to. You can also join our Discord, which is just Into the 99. If you want to find our one-stop shop for all things Into the 99, we have into99.com, where you can find amazing articles written by members of our community, previous episodes of Brewing It Live, of Parallel Thoughts, of What's in the Box, of just like literally anything. If it's got a name, it's probably there. Always also go check out Jim. He is Pyrexia. He does all of the proxies for us. He's an amazing guy. Check out X Level Games. Check out Etch Gaming. And
Yeah,
I think that's it. Yeah. As always, you guys, be kind to each other, and remember, black is the best color in Magic.
Green.
Lies.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Adios, everybody.
Take care, and it's white.
Run less graveyard hate.
More Primeval Titans.
Bajuka Bog buyout. Go. All right, we really do got to stop.
I hate Paducah Bog. Can that be the